For a man like Barry, who had spent years flying drugs, weapons, and secrets for the most dangerous men in the world, this was more than just an engine failure. This was his life flashing before him. Caught between two opposing forces, the ruthless drug cartels in the shadowy world of government espionage. And in that moment, as the plane struggled to stay aloft, Barry realized that no matter how many times he danced with death, the odds were finally stacking against him. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a boy with a dream looked up at the sky, not at the roads, but to the object flying above. Barry Seal wasn't like the other kids. While they learned to drive, he learned to fly. At 16, he got his flight license and was already piloting a Piper Cub. By the time he was 26, he became Trans World Airlines' youngest 747 captain, commanding flights from JFK to Athens with 400 people aboard. His supervisor watched Seal hand fly a 747 through a thunderstorm over the Atlantic without breaking a sweat after a close encounter with death. The skies were his kingdom, but a salary of $160,000 and the prestige of commanding a 747 weren't enough. No, Barry needed more. He needed danger. He needed adrenaline. In 1976, when Barry's hunger for excitement took a darker turn. On a borrowed Piper Aztec, Barry smuggled 700 pounds of Jamaican marijuana. The payoff? $35,000 for just 4 hours of work. It was his first taste of the underworld, and by 1979, he was fired from his job with TWA Airlines.
I spend 72 hours researching these, so if it's worth 2 seconds to subscribe, I'd appreciate it.
By 1979, he owned 3 planes. He'd stepped into the world of high-stakes smuggling, running weekly operations. But it wasn't enough. Not yet. In 1980, the Medellin cartel came knocking, and Barry Seal couldn't say no. In December 1980, Barry was approached by Jorge Ochoa at a marina in Miami. The Medellin cartel had one simple offer: move serious weight, 1,000 kilos per flight, and they'd pay him $1 million per run. Barry agreed without hesitation. In March 1981, his first cocaine flight began, 1,200 kilos from Colombia to Louisiana. He flew at just 180 feet above the Gulf of Mexico, dipping under radar. Authorities never saw him coming, and neither did the wealth that was about to follow.
By 1982, Barry Seal had earned a reputation as the Medellin cartel's most reliable smuggler. No loads lost, not one. Others had crashed, gotten intercepted, or stolen the product, but Barry delivered every single time. He wasn't just a pilot, he was a man of military precision. He studied weather patterns for days, memorized DEA shift changes, and scouted private airstrips across Central America. The cartel knew they had their golden asset. Money poured in by the millions. By 1982, Barry was earning $1.5 million per flight, flying twice a month. He bought a 6,000-square-foot mansion in Baton Rouge, a Learjet, 6 sports cars, and stashed $25 million in Grand Cayman banks. But the money, it was never the real motivation. What drove Barry was the thrill of the risk, the adrenaline of flying undetected, of being untouchable, moving tons of cocaine with not a single intercept. Every run made him more valuable and more legendary. You followed the story this far. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and leave a comment. In 1983, the CIA came knocking. Barry was offered a deal: charge for moving drugs for Escobar, or turn informant for the US government. The CIA needed a man who could fly anything, anywhere, without asking questions. The choice seemed simple, but in the world of international espionage, there are no easy paths. Barry had already become a pawn in a much larger game. What started as a way out would soon become the beginning of his destruction. By 1984, Barry was working for both the DEA and the CIA. His mission went beyond drug enforcement. He was now gathering intelligence for the US government. He flew Nicaraguan anti-communist group and CIA operatives.
He started taking photographs of Pablo Escobar and Nicaraguan officials handling cocaine, exposing his work with the CIA as an undercover operative in the process. Barry Seal had become far too valuable, but at what cost? Barry's secret work for the CIA became his undoing. In 1984, the photograph he took of Pablo Escobar heading cocaine with Nicaraguan officials were so explosive they made it all the way to President Reagan's desk. Then those images were leaked to the press. Barry's life took a drastic turn. His betrayal was now public, his safety no longer guaranteed. The cartel, furious at the exposure, wanted him dead. The CIA was now exposed, its secret dealings with the Medellin cartel uncovered. The cartel wanted Barry dead for the photos he'd taken. He had become both a threat and an asset. But in the world of espionage, some secrets are too dangerous to reveal. The US government wanted him silenced for different reasons. Who would act first? On February 19, 1986, in a parking lot outside a halfway house, 3 assassins closed in. They fired 80 bullets into Barry's Cadillac, soaking the federal documents in his blood. This wasn't just another cartel hit, it was a final betrayal from those who once relied on him. Barry Seal, the pilot who had flown beneath the radar, had now become a sacrifice in a much larger game. Who really made the decision to expose Barry Seal? Who allowed him to become the ultimate informant, only to sacrifice him when he became too dangerous to protect? And what did the US government really have to hide? Barry Seal's story doesn't end with his death. His testimony helped dismantle Escobar's empire, but it also revealed the darker side of US operations in Latin America. His name lives on as the pilot who shifted the global drug economy, but his sacrifice came at a cost far too great for one man to pay. Barry Seal wasn't just a key witness, he was a sacrificial pawn in a game far larger than anyone realized. In the world of international espionage and drug trafficking, the truth is often buried in blood. But who decided that Barry Seal would pay the ultimate price?